a thumbs up so I know what I'm dealing with. So, okay,
I
I'm
play
trying to look
outside
at,
with my brothers. Does that count?
say that again?
I play outside with my brothers. Does that count?
Yes. Anything that requires leg movement, that's at least 30 to 60 minutes a day, 5 days a week is considered a healthy option versus being sedentary and sitting down and expecting good health to come in your comfort zone. Good health does not come in your good health does not come when you sit. It comes when you move. And there is no easy way out when it comes to good health. That's the problem. People think that they can just get away with it because they're young. The older you'll get, you'll realize that you're gonna fall into a pit the older you get if you don't take care of yourself when you're younger. So I'm looking right now through the Zoom, and anybody else here want to tell me a little bit about who else really gets involved with their well-being and actually does something about it? I see Fatima Kadovic. She was my former student. I know she's very athletic, mashallah. I remember her. Tanya, Khadija, Abdullah. You guys do anything, or you just wait for the clouds above?
Me, Abdullah, or is there another Abdullah?
There's Abdullah Muhammad.
That's me.
Yeah. Tell me
Oh,
a little bit about yourself, Abdullah. There's only
uh,
19 people here. I can handle 126 students. I'm sure I can handle 19.
all right. So my name is Abdullah. I'm an organizer. 21 years old. I'm in my third year of college.
Alhamdulillah.
Um, Actually, like I'm really enjoying this talk. Because like I for once like took the opportunity of quarantine and like turned it into like something where I can like make my life like a little bit healthier. Um, so what was the question? I'm sorry.
Question is, what do you do for yourself, Abdullah? What do you
And
do to get yourself in a realm of wellness? What do you do?
I work
Before I
out.
start with myself, I want to know who I'm talking to, and what kind of crowd is here. What do they do for themselves? What do you
I'm
do?
I basically just like really structure my day to the T. So like gyms in there, classes are in there,
Good.
studying's in there, work is in there, time with family is in there, even like cooking dinner and stuff like that's in there as
Good. So
well.
you prep your food?
I prep everything.
Good. So
Okay.
Abdullah could do this session then.
No,
Sarah.
no,
What
no.
about Tanya? Shami.
I wish I prepped. I don't. In the beginning of quarantine, I did. I planned all my meals and I worked out. But I think as time went on, I got like a little bit lazier.
Okay. Happens to everyone. Alhamdulillah. What about Khadija Azam?
So like
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
I would say that like quarantine or like college in general, I'm a third year college student. So I would say that like in high school I was very, very like wary of working out constantly. And like I was on a softball team. It was like strength and conditioning like 2 to 3 times a week. But I think that that habit kind of didn't stay into college just because I was like super busy, or like the most exercise I would get would be like walking around campus. Um,
Okay.
so I'm not really proud of that. I know it's something I have to fix. So I'm trying with the warmer weather. I tried going biking the other day. So
Okay.
trying to kind of just ride my bike around my township a few laps.
Okay.
But it's definitely something that I'm trying to incorporate going into the summer.
At least you acknowledge, you're aware. So the first step of any kind of um, to become healthier and to avoid being sedentary is awareness. Without awareness, we have no direction. So first we have to understand why it's important, right? Sarah, how long do I have? Because I can talk for 10 hours. So you got to tell me how long I have.
We wanted to like stop for Q&A.
Okay.
So like
So give me a time limit.
10:45.
Okay, you got it. All right. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Amal Awad. And I'm a certified trainer, and it's a male-dominated field. So there's very few women out there who are certified by the National Exercise Training Association. That's number one. Number two, my background is in drug and alcohol addiction and prevention. Before I turned my moments into passion where it comes to health and wellness, I used to help children in Hudson County. I was a prevention specialist. I used to subliminally give messages through puppets about sexual abuse, drug addiction. And I would go to schools and teach 5 days a week, different classrooms about drug addiction, but I would never say the word drug. I would talk through puppets. And then kids, after 6 to 8 weeks, the program lasted 6 to 8 weeks, 45 minutes a session. Some children then would open up to me before I would leave them, and they would graduate from the program, and they would say, my parents have an addiction, or my parents used to touch me in certain ways that made me feel very funny. So then I would have to report that. So that's another part of my career. So is drug and alcohol addiction, personal training. And then the other part was I became a supervisor of all the presenters for drug and alcohol addiction. So I was in charge of people when they go out there and they talk about drug and alcohol prevention, sexual symptoms of being a sexual victim, someone who's been sexualized by their family members or by close members, friends. I also was in charge of that. So it's an interesting background for someone who wears hijab and is a, we don't have this in our, we look like, we as Muslims don't look like we have this problem, but we do. The problem is I was in a scene where there weren't Muslims around. I was dealing with no Muslims. I was the only Muslim. So the field that I was in, people would say to me, oh, wow, this is great that you're into this. And I would say, yes, alhamdulillah. I'm so happy that I can help serve the community, even though I really didn't see Muslims around. Alhamdulillah for that. But then later on, I noticed a lot more Muslims started coming out when it came down to being touched as children by family members. And there is drug and alcohol addiction in our community, but we don't want to talk about it. It's hush hush. In fact, I don't want to steer away from the subject, but I do know for a fact in the last 5 years, the janazas that occurred here in Central Jersey, I'm not going to say the names, people said they died from heart attacks. Young boys, and that's a lie. They did not die from heart attacks. They died because of drug overdose. So I know that. But again, families are embarrassed by this, so we keep our mouth shut. So it'd be nice if some of us as college students go into the field of drugs and alcohol and mental health, because we are having problems in our community. We just fail to address it because we're too busy thinking that being a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, a chemist is more important because the salary is really great and it's really high and it brings honor to the family. So that's another topic, but I had to address that because it's all part of mental wellness. Health and wellness, a holistic approach is everything from between being healthy, being a trainer, learning to live in the present moment, learning metacognition, which is to think about what you're thinking about, to live in the present moment, to be able to Take care of yourself. And how? By getting out of your comfort zone. So, being that I gave you a little introduction about myself, I also currently, I've been working for NUI for the last 18 years as their health wellness PE teacher. I teach upper elementary and the entire middle school, female students only, and the entire high school, female students only. So that's what I'm currently doing. On the side, I do, workshops like this, small little speaking moments on the side. I do have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have a lot of healthy recipes in there. I try to go for plant-based diets because if you can't afford grass-fed beef, which is very expensive, I'm not the type that's going to support factory farming meat, whether it's halal or not halal. There is a way we have to slaughter our meat, and I believe even some halal places are not raising their meat appropriately. They may be slaughtering them appropriately, but I'm not sure about raising them because a lot of our meats have hormones in them, and that is why if I can't, which I have a family of 6, if you really can't afford to eat grass-fed or pasteurized fed meat, then I really suggest a lot of your food come from plants, like mushrooms, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, spinach. So here I am. Now I'm going to go from health and wellness into plant-based foods. From plant-based foods, I'm going to try to touch up on movement, and then I'll finish it off for Q&A. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So I'll give you an example what you should always have. I don't care if this is your mom's house. I don't care if you live in a dorm. You should always have fresh fruits in your kitchen. I don't care if it's in the middle of the table. I don't care if it's sitting on top of your counter. Fruits should not be hidden. Always have fruits on the table. And get used to taking a knife, washing it, and then cutting and eating. Please do not take off the peel. Peel has a lot of fiber in it. So we want to get used to these daily habits of eating healthy. How do we do that? By always incorporating fruits, lemons, tomatoes. Keep it. You're hungry, you don't always have to reach out for an orange. Reach out for a tomato. You don't always have to reach out for an apple. Go for an avocado. Open it up. Take the seed out. Just eat it. Everything doesn't have to taste so good for you to enjoy it. It doesn't have to be groovy and so appetizing and so delicious. It doesn't. That's the problem. We always think it's gotta taste good. Not true. Because food is medicine. And it's an underutilized, it's an underutilized medication. Because when you get sick, first thing you do is take care of yourself. If it doesn't happen right, you go to a doctor. The doctor prescribes you medication. There's a lot of stuff you don't even have to go to the doctor for unless you have to, where there's a fever involved, you're not feeling well, you don't know what's going on, you have to go see a doctor. But if you eat right, if you eat lemons like you eat candy, you're going to be in good shape. Many of us don't put lemons unless it's going on top of a salad. Very few people eat lemons. Lemons are so good for you. They're amazing. They open up the nasal, they open up your lungs. So much vitamin C in a lemon. A lemon, something that's hidden underneath the second drawer in the refrigerator. Nobody's looking at it. Ginger. Take a lemon and a ginger. Open it up for breakfast before Ramadan starts. Get a lemon, squeeze it. Clean the peel off very well if you want. Eat the peel with it. Put it in a blender. Put some ginger in it. Put some kale in it. Don't put too much mango latte and all those beautiful extra high sugar glycemic fruits. Don't forget the veggies. Put it in there. Invest in a NutriBullet. NutriBullets now, $50. Before it was $129. Now you can get a NutriBullet brand new, $50. You can make so many fruit smoothies. But remember, protein fruit smoothies, not just fruits. So if you're gonna have a banana and a mango and and cherries and oranges, hold up. It's a lot of sugar. Let's put some kale in there. Let's put some arugula. Let's put some chia seeds, some flax seeds, some hemp seeds, avocado. Let's not get too caught up with all the fruits without the vegetables, because we need vegetables. Vegetables are a detox to our digestive tract, and it's also a detox for us. It's the medication we need. Do you know? Anybody heard of Dr. Gary No? No?
My dad is obsessed with him. It's the only radio station he'll listen to.
Well, I was obsessed with him for years, and I'm not obsessed with him anymore but when I was obsessed with him, it was for many years. He's a homeopathic, naturopathic doctor, extremely intelligent, unbelievable, very direct, very detailed, wrote many books. And in one of his books, he says, when you look at a bowl of vegetables, I want everybody to take this in with me. I want everybody try to visualize green pepper, red pepper, cauliflower, apples, jalapeno, bananas, lemon, broccoli, cauliflower, parsley. Everybody got that in their head now? I want you to visualize that in a nice bowl. Visualize that. Take that in. Dr. Gary No, in one of his books, he says, when you look at that bowl, those colors are talking to you. They are saying, don't I look beautiful? The reason why I'm beautiful is because I was made for your nourishment. So just think about that for a moment. I know Dr. Gary No is not spiritual. In fact, I think he's an agnostic. But that's not the issue here. I don't care if he believes in God as his banana or a banana as his God. I'm not talking about his spirituality right now. He says, fresh fruits talk to you. Fresh vegetables, fresh herbs, they actually talk to the human being. It's almost like, remember that saying in Islam, there's a fitra, where no matter how much you deny the existence of God, somehow it's in you to believe in a creator, but you just probably don't know what it is or what it looks like, but you know it exists, but it's in you. It's the fitra. The way Dr. Gary Null describes the love that the human being has for his fellow fruits and vegetables, he says it's in you. It's in everyone to love fruits and vegetables. But the problem is, we're so caught up doing so many things, okay, that it's the last thing on our mind. When we wake up in the morning, the last thing in our mind is, okay, let me eat healthy. You're ready to rip, run, hit the ground running. You got college, you have stuff to do, you have stuff to study, you have stuff you have to study. That's the last thing on your mind is, let me have a nice big salad for breakfast. It's the last thing on your mind. That's why meal prep is very important. So all of you guys that are in this Zoom, if you're going to take anything from today's missed program, prep. Meal prep is important because meal prep is you saying, I don't want to put junk in my body. I want to put the healthy stuff. And you're taking that very serious. And that's through fruit smoothies, fruit/protein/vegetable smoothie. Okay? Salad for breakfast, why not? There's nothing wrong with salads for breakfast. I have it, my kids have it, but it's not in many people's culture. So what? It's not in your culture. Try it out. You may like it. You may think, is she for real? She wants me to have a salad for breakfast? You'll be surprised. It's delicious. Nice, big, healthy salad for breakfast. Doesn't have to have bread in it. Doesn't have to have, all that extra high glycemic carbohydrate. No. Big salad, romaine lettuce, spinach, pieces of little cauliflower in it. Okay? Put some scallions in it. Put some spinach in it. And now Aldi's has this, what's this called? This big organic, it's called the seasoned mixture. It's a spring mix. I can't believe it. $3.79 for a big thing. Organic. When I grew up, an organic bowl that big that Aldi sells was $10. Now it's $3.87. How? People are getting smarter. They don't want to eat food that's full of pesticides. Organic vegetables are now becoming more affordable. People slowly are waking up. But here's the bad side. We still have intelligent scientists that are making food that is processed, salty, greasy, sweet, and it tastes delicious. So we still have that other side. And that's the side you have to be careful with. I'm going to shut down that subject because it's 10:36. I'm going to go now to the PE part, which is the physical part. That okay, Sarah?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. The PE part. In the absence of health. If you don't have health, you have nothing. If your last name, I don't care what your last name is, after your last name, like O'Day, CPS, ABC, MD, XYZ, in the absence of health, if you have no health, your acronyms, your education is meaningless. You have to take care of yourself. You have to go out of your way. I read many moons ago, men whose wives died early from cancer. And it was it was like a third world country. I can't remember, it was Guatemala, Honduras. And I remember reading the book, and it was an aha moment for me, because these men couldn't afford medication. Their wives died young, and they were going through a depression because they had to take care of kids, they had to cook, clean, and let's face it, a lot of men are not used to being domestic. So as I'm reading this book, the government these men couldn't afford medication. So you know what they gave them? They gave them machetes. You know what a machete is, guys? Those long swords. And they said, go out there and just corte. Corte means cut. That's all they wanted them to do, is chop. And these men, after 3 weeks, getting up in the morning, all they did was chop. Do you know what? Most of them graduated from the program. No medication. All they did was chop. Now, why? Because blood flow, oxygen to the brain, oxygen to the lungs, oxygen. Look at the benefit of movement. So much benefit. Now, I'm not saying if you have schizophrenia or bipolar, okay, that don't go on medication. Please do not read me wrong. Mental health is real. Bipolar is real. Depression is real. Schizophrenia is real. All that stuff is real. But these were men that were slightly hit through hardship because of their circumstance, not because of a chemical imbalance. Let's get that through. I don't want anybody saying, guess what, Mom? I know you were diagnosed. I heard this lady, her name is Amal. She said, you don't need it. All you got to do is buy a knife and start chopping plants outside. No. I said, the power of movement helped these men that were in a predicament because of circumstance, not because of a chemical imbalance. We have many Muslims suffering with chemical imbalances, and we're not talking about it. There is a place called Stress Care. It's in Manalapan, New Jersey. And I have a member of my family who suffers from schizophrenia and bipolar. And she's a very, very religious young lady. And she said, when the logistic care came to pick her up, she noticed the guy had a beard, and his beard had henna on it. So the girl said, oh, I smell musk. You're Muslim? He goes, yes. So the girl said, I'm Muslim. He goes, Salamu alaikum. So the girl said, wa alaikum assalam. So as they're talking, he goes to the young lady who he just picked up from stress care. He said to her, which is a outpatient program that does therapy from 8:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, every day, Monday through Friday. And this is a true story. I'm not making this up. So the girl goes, he goes, you don't know how lucky you are that you have this place. So she goes, well, if you have a problem, you could join it. Why? You don't have Medicaid? You could join this place. All you need is health insurance like Medicaid. He goes, no, my son, who's 19 years old, wrote me a letter when he was in California University. And he said, Daddy, I don't think college is cut out for me. And I kept ignoring him, saying, oh, be quiet. We'll see you in a couple of more months. And he goes, Dad, I don't know. I don't like college. I want to go home. This is not cut out for me. And the father said, are you crazy? You just started school, not even 3 months ago. You only got a couple of weeks left. We'll talk about it when you come home for the break, for Thanksgiving. So, unfortunately, he went in his room and he lit himself up. And he killed himself. And he's Muslim. So instead of the boy coming home to his father for Thanksgiving, he came home in a body bag with burns. And the father was crying to the girl from stress care, telling her, I wish I didn't tell my son to get over it. I wish I said, stop. You don't want to go to school? Okay, no problem. We'll address this. I'm going to cut you out a ticket right now so you can come home. Imagine 19 years old, burn himself. Think of the pain this boy was in for him to light himself up. Now, why are we discussing this? Because we don't know where mental health can take us if we don't address it right. And at the same time, our physical well-being will never be balanced unless we move. Movement is imperative. Eating healthy is imperative. Getting up. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't ever have to even afford a gym membership. As long as you got a jump rope that costs $5 from Five Below, and you can jump rope for 5 minutes, and you can do right angle push-ups, do 20 right angle push-ups, and do jump rope for 5 minutes. And then get on the ground and just touch your toes. That's it. There you go. There's a start right there. Don't even join a gym. We don't need Rocky Balboas. We don't need these gorgeous bodies. Because we're not about aesthetic. In Islam, our bodies are our temples. It's not about showing off your abs and showing off your biceps and triceps. Your body is your temple. You take care of it because your goal is to become a healthy senior. That's your goal. Your goal is not to be in a fitness magazine. Your goal is not to look so adorable and so beautiful that everybody's mesmerized by your muscle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't want that, right? Inna Allah la yundur ila ajsamakum walakin yundur ila qulubakum. God doesn't look at your body, he looks at your heart. So we're not out here to do a pose down. We're out here to be healthy. And how do you get healthy? Moving 5 days a week, 6 days a week, at least 20 minutes of cardio, 10 minutes of strength training. Make sure you always have like a 5-minute warm-up. YouTube is free. You can go on YouTube. There's so many websites. I can't even tell you how many there are. There are so many websites on YouTube. Merengue, salsa, strength training, how to do a right angle push-up, how to do a pacer test, how to do your own fitness assessment, how do you jump rope. So much on YouTube for free. It's shameful If no one wants to go on YouTube and look at all this free stuff, when I grew up, there was no YouTube. We just played outside. You guys have so much information under your fingertips. So much, it's overwhelming. And now you have to take advantage of it. You have cheaper blenders than we had growing up. You have cheaper gym equipment. We never had a Five Below growing up. You have cheaper gym equipment. You have YouTube where everything is free. And you have resources that we didn't have. So this generation, shame on you if you have an excuse not to be well and not to have a goal to be healthy seniors. Because I don't know what to say. We didn't have that opportunity growing up. Only the rich could afford a gym membership. And you didn't hear, oh, I have a gym in my basement. Only the rich people had gyms in their basement. Now the average person has a set of weights. The average person has jump ropes. The average person has dumbbells, has a barbell. We didn't have that. That's unheard of. So this generation has so much more than my generation. And I expect these 20 participants that are on this Zoom call to start thinking, how am I going to plan my meals, prep my meals? You need about an hour, maybe an hour and a half on a Sunday. I do my prep on a Sunday. About an hour and a half, okay, to make, they're called starter prep. Like you take red pepper and just cut it in half. Clean it, cut it in half, put it in a Ziploc bag. There you go. That's one meal. You could put tuna fish in it. You could put a little bit of cream cheese and jalapeno in it. So much stuff you could stuff in a half red pepper. So it'll take the laziness when you're so busy during the week. If it's already clean and cut, it will take away that laziness that you have to still clean it and cut it. See what I mean? So there goes a nice idea. Take cauliflower, a whole cauliflower. Costs what, $2.99? Wash it, cut it in little florets. Try not to throw nothing away. I try not to throw it away. I just cut it and put it in a Ziploc bag. During the week, you could chop it fine and make cauliflower rice. If you don't want to make cauliflower rice, take a couple, put it in the air fryer. Spray it, make yourself a cauliflower sandwich. Stuff it in whole wheat pita. Put a little bit of tahina and lemon on it. There you go. You got a plant-based sandwich right there. That's a power sandwich, believe it or not. That's a powerful vegetable. Stuff it with some, if you want, get really crazy. Put some cauliflower, put some broccoli in the air fryer, put a little bit of pepper on it, a little bit of salt, and put some tahina and lemon on it, and give yourself a little piece of halal turkey if you want. Stuff it. It's good for you. It's not bad for you. It's healthy. I prefer you to stick with whole grain bread, not white bread. There you go. Take the half red pepper. Stuff it with roasted cauliflower. Stuff it with, what do you call it? I like sardines. Some people don't like sardines. Stuff it with tuna fish. Take salmon. When you roast some salmon in the oven, okay, put the cold salmon in the refrigerator. During the week, take a piece of salmon out of the refrigerator, smash it, put some lemon on it, lemon means lemon, put some salt on it, pepper, some jalapeno, stuff it in that red pepper I just told you about, or the green pepper. There's so many recipes. Just got to think out of the box. You know that pumpkin that everybody throws out every year? Well, I pick up that pumpkin and I use it, number one, for compost. And number two, I might take half a pumpkin, I carve out the seeds, and I roast the seeds in the oven, and I make pumpkin seeds out of it. And then the rest of the pumpkin, I make pumpkin soup. Why you gotta throw that away? So many of these crazy people throw away all that pumpkin, that Halloween pumpkin. See how we don't make sense anymore. Mubaddirin. Mubaddirin is people who are wasteful. And what does the Quran say about that? Innal mubaddirin ikhwan ash-shayateen. These are brethrens of the devil, people who waste. No need to waste, guys. So, Sarah, I went above. It's 10:52. You said 45 minutes. Tried not to go. I believe I'm 45.
That's good.
Any-
Alhamdulillah. So thank you so much for speaking. We first wanted to ask if anybody in the audience had any questions that they wanted to ask out loud before we ask the questions in our Q&A.
Sure.
Okay. So if nobody has any questions, I'm just going to proceed with our Q&A form. So the first question that we have is, how can I motivate myself to work out during or after long days?
Always got to work out in the morning. That's the best, because I have long days too. If I don't work out in the morning, it's very difficult for me. But because I'm a gym teacher, I have to be in school at a certain time. If I don't work out before I get up, then right before I go to bed, no matter what, I have to go to my basement and I have to go on the elliptical machine, even if it's for 10 minutes. I have to do it. My body needs it. It's good for me. And I know the value of it. You got to talk to yourself. If you can't do it in the morning, then do it 10 minutes before you go to bed. But don't forget, you also are active during the day. Like for instance, I'm going to stand up now. If I'm standing like this, okay, and I take my belly and I press all the way in through my breath, hold it. Hold it for 10 seconds. That's considered one sit-up. Okay? So you could be on the line in the cafeteria at Rutgers, and you can hold your belly all the way in. Hold it, hold it, hold it. All the way in. Hold it for 10 seconds. That's considered one sit-up. The next thing, you're online at the bank, or you're online, at a car dealership, or at a halal restaurant, whatever. If you squeeze your buttocks, just hold it in, squeeze it. Squeeze it for 15 seconds. Hold it, squeeze, squeeze. Guess what? That's considered one squat. So there's so many things you could do. You can incorporate without even going in the basement to go on the elliptical. I just told you what I did. You don't have to do that. You can incorporate little exercises throughout your day. Now I gave you two. I gave you a squat, what a squat looks like while you're standing, and I gave you what a sit-up looks like while you're standing. How about if you just turn around and while you're standing up like this, let's say you're at the halal meat and you're on the register and the person's talking whatever. What you got to do is extend your foot out. Just extend your foot like that and just go up and down. People don't care. Sometimes I'm online, I'll just go like this. I'll lift my toe up, I'll flex it up, and I'll just go up and down. 10 on the left, and then I'll go 10 on the right. Who cares? People are so busy, they don't care what you do. Who cares? Why not? It's your body. If you know 100% you don't have time to work out 100%, percent. Why not incorporate it throughout your day? Why not? You don't have to take the elevator to get to your class. Use the stairs. You know you're not going to have time to go work out at night because you're too tired. Use the stairs. You're going to Apna Bazaar to buy fruits and vegetables. Don't park your car close to the place. Park it about 1,000 feet from the place. This way you can get extra steps. So no excuse.
So thank you. I think that was a really good answer, especially for people who get tired. So another question we have is, what matters more, your diet or your exercise?
Of course, diet. It's 85% of what you put in your mouth. Exercise. I know people who never exercise, but they're very active. But they eat very well. Of course, diet. First thing of all, it's a triangle. It's motivation, exercise, and diet. The problem is, diet is very important. Because if you don't fix your diet, no matter how active you are, you're never going to catch up. You got to fix your diet first. But, of course, movement is imperative. But like I said, I know people who never exercised, but they're in good shape because they're active. They garden. They go outside. They don't take buses. They're always walking to ShopRite. They don't exercise. They've never been to a gym, but they have very good diets. They have a big thing of chicken broth for breakfast. They hardly eat bread. They eat very little meat. They don't indulge in processed foods. They don't indulge in hangout food. They don't indulge next to grease trucks. They don't indulge with fat cat sandwiches. They don't indulge in fast food items. They don't indulge in salty and greasy snacks. And they're in great shape. But they don't go to a gym because they eat right. They eat healthy. So that's a good question. Diet is, if you can clean your diet, that's the first step to wellness. But movement is important. You gotta move. But you don't have to have a gym membership, and you don't have to spend money. You really don't. That's all propaganda.
So just as a follow-up to that, a student asked, there are so many different diets out there. So how do I know which one is right for me?
First thing of all, depends on you. You're right. Not all diets work. Everybody. I know people who worked on the keto. It worked very well for them. And I know people who lost their hair and they broke out in severe rashes. And then I know people who did the Weight Watchers. It worked out beautiful for them. Beautiful. And for some people, not only did they gain the weight that they lost, but they gained more. On top of the weight they lost, they gained more than what they lost. So the best diet is the diet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. Whole foods, not processed. Lots of water. Try not to touch this fake flour, this fake white flour and sugar, unnecessary sugar that's even in ketchup. Imagine Hira, Abdullah, Hira Shakar, Hira Hashmi, Omar, Rumesa, Thanya, Safia, Nazia, Simra, Khadija, Hafsa, Amal, Safia. Imagine there is corn syrup in ketchup. Just think about that. Sugar is everywhere. It's everywhere in our diet. That's the first thing we got to do. Start looking for sugar. Because sugar is a no-no. There's no purpose for it. We use it today as a preservative, but it's really not healthy for us. There are now ketchups that are coming out. No corn syrup. No fructose in this ketchup. It's a little bit more money, but it's starting now. So try to get a diet, very low in sugar, lots of fish. Try to get a diet that is, what's that thing called? Wild caught fish, especially cold fish like salmon, sardines. I know we love tilapia. Everybody loves tilapia. And it's delicious, but the cold water fish is better, like the salmon, the fishier fish, the one that we really don't like. Okay? Try to stick to the wild caught and try to stick with, if you can, of course, not fried, not processed. Stick with whole foods. I'd rather you eat 2 bananas for lunch than a bag of potato chips and a soda for lunch. So start thinking like that. Think. I'd rather you take an avocado and just cut it with a plastic knife in the cafeteria, open it in 2, carve it out, and eat a whole avocado, then go for that extra French fries. I prefer you to do that. Which one are you going to do? Most people are going to go for the French fries. Go figure. Because it's delicious. It's tasty. It's salty. So, got a lot of choices, guys. You got to make these choices yourself.
So just one last thing. Do you have any websites or YouTube accounts that you recommend for healthy recipes?
Oh, sure. Let's see if I can find you. Sarah, you know what I could do? I could send it to you.
Yeah, that would be great. And if possible, could you also send me your contact information? So I'll send it
Sure.
to everyone who's here. So inshallah, if they would want to contact you
Yeah,
afterwards.
because I have on Instagram, there's a lot. I think on Instagram, there's more. YouTube has healthy snacks, but Instagram has a lot more plant-based foods than YouTube. So I'll send it to you, Sarah. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that would be good, inshallah. So with that, inshallah, we'll be ending the session. Thank you for everybody who came today. And thank you, Miss Emma, for coming. It was really a wonderful talk, and it was good to see you.
Good. I hope
Alhamdulillah.
everybody learned something new. Give me a thumbs up if you learned something new that you didn't know yesterday. Good. That's what I want. Okay, guys, have a good Sunday. I know the weather is not that great for a walk, but that doesn't mean you can't walk in the house, right? Still can walk in your house.
Sorry.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I'm so quick.
Can whoever's live streaming end it? I think that's Armor. Can you end live stream?
Is it me?
Yeah, because you were made host. So can you just end the live stream?
Yep.
There's